It's tornado season. We got Glenn Powell, Daisy Edgar-Jones, Anthony Ramos, and there's multiple twisters happening. So much going on. We're gonna give you a spoiler-free review of the sequel, but we're also gonna talk about the first movie in here a bit because we both caught up with it this week for the release next week. It's not the same pitch as Alien was, with just like adding more the dollar sign at the end. That was James Cameron's pitch for a sequel to Alien. Here we get what you described as a more modern take, I guess, on twisters. So yeah, what did you think of both of these films?
Well, first time watching Twister and watching it in 2024, yeah, there are certain things that haven't aged well. And sure, the CGI back in the day would have been blown people's minds.
Yeah.
But now we've got
It's serviceable.
full
It works.
CGI renderings of people, and it works. The thing is, it's a perfect example of how CGI should be used to enhance the narrative, not used for just generally everything. And I think that it's a perfect example of how it can build and intensify a moment. And to be honest, the new one, yes, there's CGI in it, but it's not that CGI heavy. It's obviously just the tornadoes that they do. Most of it is, in-camera character dialogue conversations. That's the most complex thing about this film, is that they are characters at the base of the narrative, and they are what drag you through. Not the big spinny clouds that are touching the ground in a big funnel. It is the characters that pull you through it. Whether it's the original, Bill and Joe, played by Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton, they are at the core of the original, and they are engaging through the entire thing. Whether it's Bill's talent for just being able to detect where the tornado is going to go, whether it's Helen's drive for science, they are engaging in the original. And in the sequel, you have that with Kate. Kate is the accumulation of them both.
Yeah.
And that is engaging, even though it's not the daughter, which I kind of thought they were setting that up at one point.
I'm glad
it's
it isn't.
It's an engaging film. I'm glad it isn't.
Yeah.
It's an engaging character that kind of allows you to do the sequel without having to kind of connect it in any kind of way. And the only connection we've got is Dorothy. One of the pods is one of the only connections we have with the characters in the original. And that is exciting and fun to make them go, hey, this is a sequel we're going to do of this really loved movie from the 90s. Here, let's make another one, but let's not have any of the characters come back. Let's just do something original. And I think that's engaging, because the only other character that they needed to add was a nice, charming celebrity. Glenn Powell, everybody, enters the scene.
If you feel it,
he killed it in Twisters.
Do you think on the casting, on the call sheet, it says Glenn Powell and sunglasses on each of his films? Or is it just
Do you think his sunglasses have a different call sheet?
Daisy Edgar-Jones gets first listing on the call sheet, then it's Glenn Powell, then it's his sunglasses, then it's Anthony Ramos. I feel like in that order.
And then it's his smile. Then it's Glenn Powell's smile.
And it's just different body parts of Glenn Powell for the rest of it. Yeah. He's movie star. He's movie star material. And he proves
He's movie star material.
He proves it again here, certified.
And he can do a good character. He's not a one-dimensional character either.
Yeah.
He actually has a bit of depth to him. And that's what I was scared going into this film, is that they were going to get... And obviously, Lee Isaac Chung knows what he's doing when it comes to characters.
Yeah.
We know that for a fact. Minari is a fantastic character piece and a character study. And he's brought that to the big scale, and he's gone, hey, look at these big twisters, but look at this relationship and characters in the forefront, and that's more important.
Yeah.
This dynamic between these rowdy tornado chasers, this scientist who's got a bit of trauma from losing her partner and all of her friends, and then her friend who is trying to do something, but he's been caught up in the bad side of it with all of the profiteering that can happen from destruction of property.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really interesting dynamic that they go through, and I think it's entertaining.
Yeah, it certainly is. I thought that sometimes the big scale didn't really mesh well with the smaller character moments. I feel like going back and forth was a bit too abrupt at times, where you can see that he's definitely better at the smaller scale stuff than the bigger scale stuff. I really liked how the film opened. I guess we kind of spoiled it there. Maybe we should stay clear of it. Not gonna say more, but it feels like a to me it felt like a Final Destination opening. The way that it was happening, I was like, okay, this is going to be important later on. It wasn't, obviously. It's not a Final Destination movie. It's also like in the way that it's presented, the way that you say it focuses less on the tornadoes and more on the characters. Is that in moments where the destruction is happening, with the more CGI that you can throw and the budget that this movie has, you could go the Ronald Emmerich type route and just show the destruction. But it's ultimately like what the push and pull between being fascinated by the nature of it all, trying to understand it, trying to prevent it in a way, but also trying to enjoy it. And I feel like getting Lee Isaac Chung for something so layered in something that kills, but then you're also fascinated and you love it. All those different pinpoints for a character to feel about like the same thing is intriguing, and I feel like especially in Powell's character, as we get to learn more about him, we slowly are peeling back the layers a bit more on his personality, and he really comes through. And Daisy Edgar-Jones, I feel like she's always been great in everything she's been in, and here delivers another, from a European judging, if she does a good she does a good American accent. I feel like it's pretty alrightish. It didn't take me out of the film. Pleasant watch, all around, entertaining from beginning to end. I was hoping maybe for a tad bit more, but I ended up at a 3.5 out of 5, and I can definitely recommend it if you liked the first one. I feel like you definitely like the sequel to it as well. And in parts, it feels like a remake as well, in a way. Because I don't know if Dorothy is like, is it like actually connected that they got like Dorothy? It feels like they developed Dorothy themselves. So it's not like there's a tie to that original film. But I don't know if I misread that. But
I'm pretty sure it's the same Dorothy, but I'm just going to say that because I had a great time with this film and I had a lot of fun. And I have to say, 2024 has been a year of really fun blockbusters.
Yeah.
I think that, obviously we had Dune taking the big charge, but you also had things like Furiosa and The Fall Guy, which, Furiosa came from the mind of George Miller, and that was fantastic. Fall Guy is a big blockbuster, and it was a lot of fun. And even some of it's like, Quiet Place, Day One, King Kong, like they were all fun. Sure, some of them weren't fantastic movies and perfect. I mean, I want to throw Roadhouse in there as well. Like, they weren't perfect, but they were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we're getting movies that are maybe not taking themselves 100% seriously. Like, come on, let's be real. Glenn Powell's character is just 100% ridiculous in this film. But I think that it's engaging and it's fun, and I had a lot of fun, and I'm going to give it 4 stars. And Ewan's cut out.
Yeah, no, you cut out to me. So I was like, I was waiting. It was like, and I'm going to give it.
Damn.
I'm going to give it. And it just like paused for 10 seconds.
I'm going to give it 4 stars. There we go. I'll do it again for you, Ewan.
So you're getting this review a bit early before we actually talk about it in detail and a full spoiler review for it next week. So go see the film yourself, come back and check out the podcast. Let us know what you thought of the film. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Don't get sucked up in a storm. Even if you got fireworks, it's not gonna stop it. You're gonna get sucked up like a cow.